Okay, it's time for the long-awaited episode 5, because one single person has asked for it, of a GSX-S1000F, my blog thing. I've just had my last ride, well, for a while, on it, because I'm fed up with it.
Actually, technically, Johnny, your year is up, but why are you fed up with it?
I think it's partly because you keep throwing mods at me that I don't like.
Right, so since the last instalment, what's gone on?
Glad you asked. First this. Here's me fitting a Dynojet power commander kit to the unfortunate GSX-S. I say unfortunate not because it isn't very good, but because I'm about to break it a bit. There you go. Whatever you do, don't try and fit anything when it's 4 degrees, because everything plastic will just break.
Oh, you little fucker.
That was a plug cap shattering into tiny pieces, now held on with duct tape. After a while I realised that a hairdryer, not something I own obviously, would warm things up and make it a lot less painful. Eventually I managed it and had some bonus bits left over. It's just fairing bolts and that, I'm sure it'll be fine. Meanwhile it's over to JHS Racing to have its matching quick shifter fitted. If you're doing it properly, you make up a rod to suit.
So we need a 100mm length rod.
Just like this. But you don't have to, you can just cut the one that's on there. Generally it works very nicely. It's tuned to work best with a lot of throttle and a lot of revs, but it also works okay just bimbling round. If you're particularly fussy, there's plenty of setting up work you can do if you hook it up to a computer. But we haven't bothered yet. What we did do was a dyno run with a fuel air probe in the exhaust to find out what the Dynojet power commander was doing to the fueling. What it showed was with the standard map, this particular bike was running a bit lean at all revs, at full throttle that is. So there is some potential for gains here. What it can't show is that on the road the bike does feel a bit perkier, not that perk was something it was lacking. Anyway, back to now, or rather the day before yesterday.
I've put a screen on. That's an MRA screen, I can't remember the name.
And is it good?
It's better for me than the standard one.
Is that because you're a big lanky drink of water?
Yes.
Okay.
But for me, it just magnifies the main problem with this bike, which is it looks like a fared bike, but it just isn't. There's as much wind blast, if not actually more, than a naked bike. The whole front fairingy bit and screen make kind of noisy turbulence by your head, or by my head, but then my head is that much higher up than a normal person's anyway. So
what you're saying is it might not be the same for shorter pilots, basically.
Oh, I'm sure for normal people it would be absolutely fine. And in fact, the screen is actually a benefit for them over the standard screen. Okay. So I'd say give it a go. Okay,
so next modification that's been on since we last spoke.
I've had half of a Hyperpro kit fitted.
Okay, which is the front fork springs?
Which was the fork springs. And yeah, obviously it comes with its oil, because it's a special weight and whatever else it is for those particular springs. They're progressive wound springs. Here's a picture of them, and here's James fitting them.
Into all your 13 bitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we suck. We suck it all out to the level's 130. It's a loose spring. Chocolate is very nice. Quick, he's going down. Hyperpro tool.
Is it?
Right, what do they say on the prelude? 3 rings?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. resetting the cap. Okay, we're not setting the rebound clicks on it, I'm just resetting the cap. Because if you don't reset this cap properly, when you put it back onto that damper rod, it could be in a different position, and subsequently the rebound won't work properly. Very important. Yeah, just locked it down. It's perfect. So our rebound setting is 7 clicks out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll tighten up here actually. See it up here. Should we put some stickers on it?
So now, obviously, there is a rear spring to go with it, and you haven't got round to that yet. So you haven't got to test the completed package.
No, but then I can't test them anyway because an ordinary rider on the road, this is for my understanding, this is like super sporty stuff, and I just don't ride anywhere near as hard enough as this stuff would warrant.
So did you notice a difference with the front end though?
Yeah, I can tell the difference. It feels massively uncorruptible. It's just a ridiculously high quality, firm feeling.
Right.
That one doesn't match me, and two doesn't match our local roads.
Okay. Is there now a mismatch between that and the back because the back hasn't been appropriately modified?
I'm largely unqualified to say this, but my initial impression of the bike when I first rode it was the rear suspension was its first thing that I came up against, which was obviously it's cheap stuff.
Yeah.
Wallowed a little bit. Having the adjustments done to the standard stuff helped.
But didn't cure it?
It made it much more suited to me in my roads.
Oh, okay.
I have been on track with it since,
Right.
and I can't fault it. You know, I couldn't fault the standard stuff with James's adjustments.
Right. Okay.
So putting the sporty stuff on doesn't work for me.
Gotcha.
We'll see what Alistair thinks
That's
of it.
fine, mate. Well, but don't put yourself down because you are, inverted commas, real world, Johnny, when it comes to being a biker, and you are just as relevant as we are to what everyone's got to say. Your opinion is because it's not actually a very expensive mod either. The springs, so I think that's quite a good thing. Now we will say now that this bike is going to go to Alistair, who is going to finish it off. So he's going to have the rear shock spring put in, and also the front downpipes to mate to the can to try and really free her up. Okay, what was your favourite modification?
Favourite mod has to be the exhaust. It looks fantastic. I mean, the old little standard one looked okay with the bike, but that one just really kind of finishes off the look. It makes it look like you've got kind of sporty riding intentions rather than you're commuting on it.
Yeah.
And it sounds fabulous just pottering around.
Okay, lovely. And there are some nice little Yoshimura bits and pieces around that are.
Yeah, I've put on the stuff for what you said.
Yeah. See, I think that's cool.
Yeah, I like it. Looks fab.
Really, really cool. I like it. Got your R&D stuff on, obviously, as well. What I would say, Johnny, is I know I've thrown a lot of stuff at you to put on it, but a lot of the mods you've made have actually been very smart mods. So your engine protection, that's subtle, but when you look at it, you go, "Oh, that's nice." The can, perfect. The tyre, obviously, we've got to talk about the T30 tyres, which are a big improvement over the standard hoops. What was your verdict on the tyres then, Johnny?
Well, I thought the AOE, Dunlops were kind of all right. Did a track day on them.
Yeah.
Some general touring around sort of stuff, and they're fine. These new T30s are absolutely lovely. I mean, I know that kind of always happens when you put new tyres on. You kind of go, ooh, I put new tyres on, they're bound to feel better. But these are just, there's so much confidence. They roll around lovely. Just the general feel of it improved. The whole ride of the bike experience was improved by a good few percent. So,
well, I'm forced to agree. As you know, last year we did 1,1600 miles on a set and then a track day at the end of it, and they were great. So even though they're not track tyres, you can still go and have a good time with them. So I have to agree, they are brilliant tyres, especially for road work. All right then. So overall, because you did actually for quite a while quite like this bike, didn't you? Right?
I did, yes.
You did quite like it. It went slightly wrong when I sent you off on a really Gucci expensive machine, because you got used to the really Gucci expensive machine and came back to this. And this is built to a cost. Did it take a couple of rides for you to get back into the Suzuki way of things?
Yeah, my ride today was great. I love the riding position. It's probably the best bit about the bike for me, because it's kind of mountain bikey, sits you up, you can see where you're going at all times. It's so controllable. Because of the long wheelbase, it leans over side to side with those big wide bars, and that's super fun. It's got plenty of engine, added the quick shifter, which has made it even more fun. It's like having a little yappy terrier who refuses to walk with a loose lead. You kind of get pulled along with it, and it puts you in the same mood as it, which is, it's a lively bike, plenty of engine. Throttle response is a little bit enthusiastic, but that's just me and my ham-fistedness. It is a fun bike. Ultimately, it's not quite what it looks like. If you know what you're getting, then you'll be happy. I can't get over the too much wind blast thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're like me. I suffer from that as well on many bikes. But okay, as an overall thing, then, would you say, because for under 10 grand, it is a bargain, right? As a standard bike.
For under 10 grand, plus I've seen it for under 9.5 grand, and they usually throw in Yoshimura stuff as well.
Wow.
It is a great buy. If it is what you want and you're happy with how it looks.
Would you rather have the naked version or this?
I haven't ridden it. I'd sure like to try the naked just to see if it's not so much that it's got wind blast.
Right.
It's the kind of nature of it, and it's the kind of a bit turbulent.
Wind blast. Sorry. Go on. No, I understand what you mean. I suffer from the same thing on different bikes, and that's just being tall. As you said, smaller pilots might not go.
Yeah,
okay.
It's probably a mixture of my extra height plus my choice of helmet. So if you're a bit shorter, you had a different helmet, and it all worked together fine.
Yeah.
You'd be more than happy.
Okay.
Just after getting off the Super G car, it felt a bit harsh. It was showing where they'd reduced the cost to get it down to that price. But in isolation, it's terrific fun. You get an awful lot of motor, and you can apply all these mods to change it to suit yourself and add a bit of bling.
Okay, and so overall, sounds like you actually enjoyed yourself on the Suzuki GSX-S1000F.
So, the Suzuki is finding a new home in the svelte form of Alistair Fagan. He gets to look after it from now on and finish it off. I suspect, no, I'm not gonna predispose him by saying he's going to love it, but once the rear shock spring and the suspension's all sorted out, it should be right up his street.
It should be, and what we'll do is we'll put this up against a completely standard one, and probably another bike that comes to the same price as this with its modifications.
Right.
And then we can see, how much difference do the mods make? Are they worth it? Blah, 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 blah. And there we go. So it will have a new home, and it will be much loved, and we will keep it probably until the new GSX-R1000 comes out, and then we shall be getting our hands on one of them. But yeah, for you, the story is not over, Mr. Jonny. You are getting the Speed Triple R, which has all that lovely Olin suspension and stuff. So so it'll be interesting to see what you make of that after a year on the FFS.
Especially. Which I totally don't deserve it, and I will not. My riding skills do not warrant it in any way, shape, or form. We'll see how we get on. I'm sure it'll look nice in my garage.
Brilliant.